Hello. Hello, everyone. Hello.
Wait, hold on.
Hey, what do you mean? Wait, hold on. I told
Wait,
you.
hold on. You didn't tell me. You didn't tell me to start recording.
We're good. We're good.
Now I'm recording.
Now you're recording. What's up?
You psycho! What's wrong with you?
I warned you. I said
you didn't warn me.
Live. I did warn you.
This guy.
I did warn you. I said
I'm over here. I'm getting the tweets ready, and he's like, what if we sent it? What if we just sent it right now?"
What's the problem?
He basically closed the door in front of my face.
What do you mean? I told you we were about to start.
I hate it here.
No, you don't. No, you fucking don't. No, you don't.
This fucking guy. This guy.
You know.
This guy. I didn't even get the dumpster fire started. I didn't even get the dumpster fire.
Get the dumpster fire started. Dumpster.
Oh my God.
Delvers.
Immediately into politics.
Happening now.
No grace period.
Yo, can we talk about how fucked it was that I almost brought up something mildly political on your stream the other day?
What do you mean?
And you immediately were like, hey man, we can't talk about that. We can't talk about that here. I'm like, what? So we're okay just setting my channel on fire, but you're
what do you mean?
You're not willing to do the same for you. Nah, that's cool, man.
I wear a fucking shit-eating grin.
Yeah.
And the reason I said that mostly because it was a meme, but it's very funny.
It was a good meme.
Because I talk politics on my channel all the time.
It was very big because I started slamming my fists, but still wanted to be respectful of the channel. That's exactly what the fuck happened. Absolutely.
Where's the tweet?
Where's that? What do you mean? Where's the?
Where's the tweet?
I didn't at you, dude. I just.
Why not?
Oh, just do it.
Well, I gotta go to your Twitter now and dig through your tweets.
You couldn't even fucking type out a tweet. Are you shitting me right now?
Who uses Twitter anymore?
Well, you know, apparently I have to because you won't use Blue Sky.
Okay, but who uses? I mean, fucking Blue Sky Omega Lol. First off,
what do you mean Blue Sky Omega Lol? Please tell me.
Who uses Blue Sky?
Everyone in our audience uses Blue Sky. What do you mean?
I would tell you exactly what happened.
Okay. You tell me.
Blue Sky came out, and everybody went, "Oh, finally, a reprieve." And then they moved to Blue Sky and realized, shit. I have to build an audience again because 1/8 of my audience moved over from Twitter. And the rest didn't follow me. So now I have to make the hard choice. Do I stick here on Blue Sky or do I go back to Twitter? And I can assure you,
that didn't happen.
Almost all of the artists I've seen who went to Blue Sky are back on Twitter.
I'm telling you, I will see, for me, I've seen the complete opposite. I have seen members of the TTRPG community who I literally lock down their Twitter and say they'll never go back to it again. And they've stuck to that word. They've stuck to that. So so sadly, it has become, you know, we are the two sides of the same coin. We've got one side that is literally like, yes, finally, I'm free. I'm free from Emperor Musk. And then they got there and they're like, I really don't want to do this again. And they just reluctantly went back to Twitter. But then we have other people who went, I'm gonna lock it down. Fuck Twitter. I'm going over to Blue Sky, and they've been building. They've been continuously building because they're like, whatever, it's just a number. Who fucking cares? Because the people that are gonna follow you are your audience. Everyone else is just remnants from years ago that were like, I'm gonna follow you too, and then that was it. You know what I mean? So, and sadly, so my case is I use both. I use both now because I've got one half that's like, I don't want to move and I fucking hate it here. And then I got the other half that's just doing that. So yeah. And I actively tried to build an audience on Blue Sky that I don't have the fucking energy, the fucking gumption to do this. So, you know, I was like, woo, and then it just stopped. And I'm like, I'll continue building, you know, at a different time when I've got the time. It's not now, though. It's definitely not now. As everyone has kindly reminded me.
Oh my God.
Every time I go, man, I'm a little tired or I'm a little stressed, they're like, yeah, you're overworking yourself, dipshit. And I'm like,
well, right. I mean, yes.
I just wish, yeah, I get that. I understand that. I just wish so many people would stop saying that to me.
Well, it's not our fault that you fucking overwork yourself.
I'm not blaming you for that.
That's like, damn, it's hot. That's like, well, yeah, man, you're sitting in a fire.
I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just like, I'm grumbling to myself, you know? Who's told me this so far? Basse, you,
of course.
Jesse Cox, Strippin.
Your two loving partners, of course.
Everyone's. Joe Cat, I'm sure Joe Cat's told me that. Mark Holmes, literally people in the fucking industry have been like, hey man, you work too hard. I'm like, motherfucker, aren't you guys like the top DMs, you know, in the industry besides, you know, the usual.
I should tell you something.
Mercer. Hey, look, I'm not arguing it. You act like I'm here and I'm like, nah, man, I don't work enough. Like, I'm aware, okay? I'm aware of the plight that I have bestowed upon myself, okay? But as we have discussed previously, I got a fucking problem. Because it was like, you know, I feel like I finally gotten to a point of acceptance where, like, I'm like, okay, you know, I'm like, you know, I just need to work this much and then stop working and then I could just, like, retire or relax or take a break. And I think it was you that literally pointed out, like, yeah, that's not gonna happen ever. Because even when you do finish it, you're just gonna fill it with more. And I'm like,
yeah,
fuck, you're right. Like,
yeah, man, so it's either you fucking retire and you're like, sipping pina coladas and getting attacked by alligators, crocodiles, I don't know, whatever.
Listen, no. First of all, let me change that. If I get retired, I'm not going to be in Florida. I'm telling you that right now.
Oh, yeah, where are you going? Arizona, the other place where old people retire.
That's also the sad thing. Okay, first of all, here's what is. You'll never hear me say this again. Here's what's appealing about Florida. As someone who has lived here, has lived other places, and operates a business. I have operated, and I know these are two very vastly different experiences. So I know someone's gonna tell me, like, well, that's your problem. When I first started my business, I started in California. I had to pay state taxes, the incorporation fees. Yearly was insane. It was like $800. I had to do all these things. There's a lot of, like, red tape you got to do when you have a business in California. I moved back to Florida and I moved my business with me, and it was so painlessly easy to do. And they were like, yeah, we'll incorporate $150. I was like, what? It's like, anything else? They're like, nah, man, you're okay. You got a business. Congratulations. It is super easy to open a business. And I can tell you that because our warehouse for IO Publishing, where we have all our, you know, the books and the goods and stuff like that, is in New Jersey. So I had to recently register to collect state sales taxes in New Jersey because I have product there. And New Jersey is the biggest fucking pain in the ass to register as a business, because I was like, yeah, I need a sales tax ID. You know, in Florida, I need a sales tax ID. They go, okay, here you go. So I was like, so I could collect taxes for the state, you know, and then pay it to the state. So Florida's like, yeah, we want your money. Here you go. New Jersey fucking goes, so have you registered your business in New Jersey yet? And I'm like, no, why would I do that? That's not where I do business. Yes, yeah, we got trade and, you know, we got all that shit. I just want to get the sales tax, you know what I mean? And a sales tax ID so I can start accurately collecting taxes in the state of New Jersey. And they were like, you got to register. So I had to register my business in New Jersey and go through all that shit before they gave me a sales tax ID.
I'm gonna tell you, the only good thing about New Jersey is that it's an okay place to hide a body.
I guess so. Especially, but not if you're in the business of hiding bodies, because holy shit, so much paperwork.
You will need a license.
You will need a license to hide that body. Yeah.
Only reason I say that is because when I visited my friend in New Jersey.
Oh, wait, hold on. I thought you were going to tell me Yeah, because I hit a body.
When I was there, I hit a body. You'll never find them because
Holy shit.
it's nothing but sprawling dead forests.
Oh my god.
My friend lives in like fucking bumfuck nowhere in the middle of Jersey, like southern Jersey, which is apparently where you get like long stretches of like wide, ominous forests. And I remember the first thought that came into my head was, this is a horror movie, as we're driving through the dimly lit woods to their place. And then the second part of my brain was like, damn, you could hide a body out here.
Speaking of hiding bodies, I also forgot to hit record. Whoopsie doodle.
Oh, hell yeah!
Man.
I'm only recording my audio. So.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm streaming it, which means unfortunately our Patreon viewers or listeners are gonna hear the music in the beginning, and then we'll fade into not that. Yeah. It'll be great. We're good. It's only been 7 episodes. Like we're still figuring this shit out.
Really, like
yeah. Jesus fucking God. It's like I was so focused on making sure I didn't screw up the music. Like I didn't get like the music all fucked up, and that I just forgot to hit the record button. Whoopsie doodle. That's me. Hey everyone, what's up? How's it going? So yeah, I even talking to my accountant. They were like, we're gonna do everything in our power to try and make it so that we can get the sales the sales tax ID without having to register your business, because it's apparently a pain in the ass to run a business in New Jersey. And I went, okay, and then it came back. It was like impossible. Couldn't do it. Completely sealed shut. No other way to do it. And unless I want to start committing, looks around tax fraud, I'm gonna have to play ball. So. Yeah,
no, the IRS can't even afford themselves right now, dog.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I really don't want to get.
I immediately kick the door open. Yeah. Ooh, 20 minutes in, politics time.
Not even politics.
IRS can't even afford themselves right now.
Not even politics. It's just like, how deep do I want to go into the conspiracy and theory of fucking tax evasion, and then have one of our viewers be like, that's actually not a bad idea. I'm gonna try that myself.
Oh shit! Somebody's like, maybe if I just don't pay taxes, I can get away with it.
I mean, like, okay, I'm gonna say right off the bat, pay your taxes.
Prefacing right now,
pay your taxes.
Hey, if you make under $14,000 a year, you don't have to pay taxes, by the way.
Yeah. I think. I mean, that sounds right.
No, that's definitely. Having just recently looked at my taxes, if you get under $14,000, you don't have to file for taxes in a year.
I still have to. I'm waiting for my accountant to like knock on my door and be like, "Where is all the tax documents?" I still have to set it out. And it's because I know for a fact between like the like Kickstarters and all that shit that I'm gonna be like, here it is, and they'll be like, you owe the government so much fucking money.
1.2.
Yeah, you owe them so much money, because it's like between YouTube, Twitch, Patreon. This is not a brag. Between Kickstarters, between selling books, between all that shit. I'm just like, man. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to pay so many fucking taxes, but we'll see what happens. I gotta get the balls to do it, because time's up. Time's about to be up here in a second, so I gotta.
You still got like a whole month, basically. It's like what, March 15th?
Yeah, don't tell
April
me that.
15th?
Well, it's April. I think let's see. When's tax due? When?
It's April 15th.
Are my taxes? Dude, you can't just. Oh, it is April 15th. Okay. I thought you were just rolling it. I thought you were like, let's just round up. Let's just round up to April 15th. I'm like, we can't do that.
No, I know it's April 15th because there was one time when I was in the Navy where I filed exactly on April 15th.
Oh, is it always April 15th?
To my knowledge.
That makes it a lot easier, doesn't it? I always thought that the date changed every year for some weird reason.
That'd be fucking crazy. I mean, I'd be pissed at the IRS already being like, we're not going to help you. You have to figure the math out yourself because you have to be honest. And then also, we just pick a day during the week that taxes are due by. Because fuck you.
Definitely on the political side, but I don't fucking care. The fucking scam that is tax prep is just so infuriating to me.
if you're a lobbyist out here helping TurboTax
Fuck
and
you.
all of them, bro, I hope you get in a car crash.
Yeah. So in Minecraft, of course, we would never, you know.
You can't use that anymore.
yeah.
You can't use that anymore.
What do you mean
Supreme
can't-
Court
wait,
deemed.
is there like
the
a-
Supreme Court deemed that you can't say shit like that.
Fucking what?
Yeah, man.
There's a court case about this.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
I'm pretty
fuck.
sure I might be just fucking yapping. I'm fairly certain it's because of so many like document leaks and stuff like that.
Oh my god.
That
That's
you can't
hilarious.
do that. But yeah, if you're gonna say in Minecraft, you can't say that anymore.
You can't
so
say
now,
that anymore.
now I just own it. So I hope you get in a car crash.
Yeah. You know, just stop it. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is fuck you and your stupid business that you need to be in there because it's stupid, it's dumb, I hate it. Every other fucking country in the world goes, hey, asshole. I'd be okay with that. Hey, asshole, you owe us $5,000.
Dude, I would love that.
Write a check. I flick him off on the way out. I give him the money. Fine. I hate tax prep. It is the stupidest fucking. I am not. That's not. Hello. That's not who
Dude,
I am.
I hate the fucking. Dude. I barely passed math in school, dog. You want me to go through and figure out the calculations for the shit I did
makes
during
no
the year?
sense.
I'm sorry. Is it not your fucking job?
Yeah. Makes no fucking sense to me. Well, it makes perfect sense to me because the company went, but how the hell am I going to make my money if the IRS just tells them, you know, what's owed? And that's what's so ridiculous to me. It's just like, you got to prepare your taxes, right? You got to hope you don't fuck them up. You got to send it to the IRS. The IRS then looks at it, looks at the number they were expecting, and goes, wrong. And you're like, what? What bullshit game is this?
They send it back, they wave it towards you, and they go, figure it out.
Figure it
fuck
out.
boy.
By the way,
and you go, huh?
we're auditing you because we think you're ripping us off. I'm like, I just fucking, what?
I did what you told me to do.
Oh, fuck. It's
I
so
love it because
stupid.
TurboTax is like, pay an extra $100 and we'll have our accountants help you in case you get audited. And I'm like,
You gotta purchase her audit protection now? What
Yeah,
racket is this?
yeah, dude. They realize that they can get a fucking away with murder. That's what it is.
Jesus Christ.
I hate them. I hate them. I hate them.
Well, apparently there is like a free, a free filing system that you can use that TurboTax hides the shit out of, apparently. Or no, what was it? Oh god, I have to look it up. Essentially, I think it got to the point where like TurboTax has to literally offer a free version for like up to a certain. I don't know what the stipulation is. So TurboTax does. But they make it super obscure to actually use. Like you have to like know what the fuck you're looking for, kind of shit. You know what?
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So I mean, it's all stupid. It's evil. It's evil. Shakes fists. Oh, I fucking hate it.
hate you.
So that is to say, like I wouldn't do it. I'm not advocating for our audience to do it. But I'm pretty sure if you skip taxes like 1 year, I don't think the IRS is gonna fucking notice what that motherfucker they are. Is all I'm saying. Like, if I was a betting man,
If I was a betting man.
if I was a betting man, I think you could probably get away with it like one time. You know what I mean? Like just once. Yeah,
Just one.
maybe
As a treat.
maybe even twice, you know, like again, Mr. IRS or FBI agent who's listening for whatever reason. I'm not saying you should, okay? And I pay my taxes. I always pay my taxes. You know, Crown pays his taxes when he's supposed to pay his taxes. And we definitely think our audience here in the States.
I haven't paid my taxes in
Should.
3 years.
Yeah, but like, you don't.
Because I don't earn enough money.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Well, we could change that today by everyone joining our Patreon, patreon.com/dumpsterdelvers. Let's get this bear to pay his taxes.
Please no. Please no. You pay so much filing solo.
Damn it.
You basically give like your whole fucking page. It's crazy.
I do want to thank, you know, that quick ad read was there for funsies, but I do want to thank, we had a few people join our Patreon this week. Thank you guys so much for that. Also want to celebrate, we got over 500 subscribers on the Dumpster Delvers YouTube channel this week.
Oh, hell yeah.
So thank you guys so much for that. You know, we've been seeing some good growth in the podcast. People have been coming and you guys seem to enjoy this, and we've gotten some real positive comments, and yeah, so thank you guys again. Thank you for all your support. Thanks for watching us. Sounds like we're wrapping up. We're not. We just literally just fucking started, but
And that's it. That's the end of the.
that's it, man. And to
Wow, I just wanted to rant about tax day. We're done.
Holy shit. Oh my fucking god. No, no, we got some shit to talk about. Man, what?
No, I want to talk about
Yes, what do you want to talk about?
AI.
Oh my.
I wink at the camera.
Okay, I gotta let everyone know. I said to crowd, let's talk. I think we should talk about AI. We haven't talked about the cast. They went, okay. And this motherfucker took the time.
I give a thumbs up.
Like, you wanted to fucking talk about it. Yeah, I fucking hate it. I fucking hate AI. I hate it. I've hated it so much. And everyone knows how much I hate it because I bitch about it all the time. I always say, IL Publishing is no AI, no generative AI. We're about humans and raccoons working, and sometimes a bear could come in and do some shit. You know what I mean? And absolutely. But man, it is getting rough out there, chat. It's fucking, hey, what's up? It's getting rough out there for that.
Find out why. Find out why is it getting...
Fuck.
But perchance, mayhaps you'd be willing to indulge us as to why it's getting difficult.
I would be more than happy to.
Excellent.
So for those that didn't know of my audience, we recently had to let one of our artists go to IL Publishing because they fortunately didn't do a lot of like detrimental pieces that was really gonna fucking slow us down. You know what I mean? But they essentially, I had my core art team look at this person's work and go, yeah, this smells wrong. Like, I think they're using, I think it's AI. I think they're using AI. And it was good on our art team. Good on our art team, because they didn't come to me right away. They didn't go, the artist didn't come over and was like, I think this is AI, with like, they like did their fucking homework for like a few days, and then they gathered other artists and they got around and they were like, let's break it down, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, yep, we see it here. And then finally I had one of our artists come to me. It was like, hey, like, I really hate to do this to you, but I think this person's using AI. I'd be more than happy to grab all the other artists, go to call it to you and point out what's fucking suspicious, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh yeah, please, let's point it out. But like, I knew they did their homework. So I went to the person and I went, hey, did you use any AI art on this? Because if you did, that's a breach of contract. We have all our artists sign that you're gonna make your shit you're gonna make your shit, because you need to sign it over to us. And that we definitely were like, no AI whatsoever. And then they were like, oh, no, it's not AI. But they said, because we were pointing at things where there was like a little bit of artifacting and all that shit. And they're like, oh, what I did was I like did a poor like magic wand grab of an already existing asset and then like drew over it. Yeah. Well, they said they had the license to use it, and they were like, I wasn't aware that I couldn't do that. It's like, of course you can't do that, and so I was like, well, we're gonna need to see some fucking proof of what you did and blah, blah, blah. And they used art program that I can't remember off the top of my head, but by default, the art program actually records what you do. So you can, so you could literally like immediately post like a art progress video and like post on social media. It's super easy because it shows you from beginning to end in a really fast forward way. Do that. So they said, oh, these are the programs I use. I went to my artist because I don't know anything about that. And I went and they said, oh, and one of them said, yo, they just had the replay file unless they went out of their way to disable it. And we're like, keep in mind that you have to go out of your way to disable it. This is something that is on by default. And so I went, okay. So I went back to them, but they're like, oh no, yeah, I disabled that. My iPad's really shitty. It wouldn't be able to handle it. And my artists were like, yeah, this is bullshit. And every time they gave an excuse, I went to my art team and they're like, no, they're literally trying to mislead you right now. Like, they are actively trying to confuse you with a bunch of terms so that you'll hopefully make it go away. So I was quiet for a bit, and then eventually the guy was just like, I could refund the pieces you don't like. I'll just refund the pieces. And I'm like, I was like, you're starting to feel the pressure. Like, you're starting to realize that, you're circling around the dress. So I said, yeah, I want a refund, and I don't want to use your pieces. They're like, which pieces? I said, all of them, every single one. Because if I've got doubt about 2, I've got doubt about all. That's just the way it is. And they were like, okay. And they refunded the pieces. We removed them all from the book. Their credit's been removed. I told them, hey, you want to use these pieces of your portfolio, go ahead, but it's not affiliated with Fiendish Forge or IO Publishing, and you can't say that it was. And then they were like, okay, sorry again. I didn't talk to him ever. And then we were already like, we're almost done getting all those pieces done. So like, it's fine. But the scary thing about that, right, is when you hear a story like this, and even my artists were like, who is this guy, like that you brought in? And it makes me look bad because it makes me look like I just grabbed some rando and then went, oh yeah, you're an artist, just fucking do shit. I
make it work, Magic Man.
And I showed him the Twitter, and it was an established artist. It wasn't like some random dude that was like, here's a thing I made. Do you like what I did? This artist has a following. This artist has people I know who also follow this artist. So, and I even told everyone, like you have to have a reputation. You have to have a following. You have to have a portfolio. You literally have to do all this shit if we're going to let you in, And so the next theory was like, oh, well, maybe this person is impersonating that artist. And I went, ooh, maybe. But then I went, no, because I messaged them on Twitter to be like, hey, I have a couple of questions about the pieces you worked on. And they said, oh yeah, let me get you on Discord. And I'm like, so it's the guy. This is a traditional artist that was doing this shit. And what essentially what it was is even my artists were like, yeah, this guy knows what this guy is an artist. This guy knows what he's doing. He's just taking terrible shortcuts to get that and using his traditional art style, his traditional art ability to hide the AI impurities.
Damn.
Yes. And that's why
that's like some next level stuff.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it gets really frustrating because I thought it was just as easy as being like, hi, I don't want AI art in my book, so I will hire artists to do this. But now we've entered into a new chapter where traditional artists are starting to embrace AI and use it as shortcuts for commissioned pieces so they can, make a buck quicker. And you're just like, damn. Oh my fucking God, this sucks. All of this fucking sucks. And then there was another artist recently who, I won't say the pieces, but they're more than likely are not going to be a part of the book. But they were working on this art for it was like a graphic design project. They were doing this art. And right out the bat, I told them I don't want Midjourney. I don't want AI art. Just period. And they went, okay, done. No AI art. So they were working on something and they made this cool background. And I went, oh, how did you make that background? And they went, oh, I used these programs and I did, how did they phrase it? I used
Journey Mid.
No. They didn't say they generated art with AI. They said they used AI as touch-ups. They used AI. It said like texturing and things like that. They used AI for that.
But that's still using AI.
That's what I fucking told the guy. So I was just like, yeah, that's generative AI. I don't want that. I told you I didn't want that. And they went, oh, okay. I'm sorry. I won't include it. I'll make sure that gets removed then. I went. So then I had to go back to other pieces they did and be like, okay. So
how many times did you do it?
Now that you have done this, here's this, here are these pieces. So tell me, did you use how did you make these pieces? And they were like, Photoshop, Cinema 4D, and all this. And I used AI
Photoshop.
Yeah, I used AI enhancements for some of the texturing on these parts, which I genuinely believed, because they were literally telling me this is where I used AI. Like I didn't use AI to generate the pieces themselves. I used AI for like texturing and for more like style, not style, but I forget the word they used, but essentially they used AI for touch-ups, essentially. And I was like, no AI. And I even showed the screenshot. I was like, you are in breach of contract right now. You're doing all this shit. You know what I mean? And it's yeah, just no, I don't want this shit. And they were like, you're right. I overlooked that. I'm gonna go back and hand draw the textures and all that stuff, and I'll come back to you. And they did. They came back, they hand drawed all the textures, they removed what was ever generated from AI in there. And for anyone who might be saying right now, not all AI is Gen AI, yeah, I know that. I'm well aware of that. But I also know what generated AI is. And selecting a thing and saying, yeah, let's go ahead and make this a little more rusted or a little more, anything that involves you typing in a prompt to be like, yeah, let's just get this texture kind of looking this way, is generative AI.
Wait,
and I don't want it.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Not all AI is. What the hell does that mean?
So, okay, well, I mean, AI is everywhere. I mean, like,
I can't go into Pinterest without seeing literally the entirety of Pinterest be AI images.
Yeah,
sorry, my roommate's dying.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. No, I mean, so that's generative AI. So there are different types of AI. There's always been different types of AI. I feel like the big thing that we're in right now is we're in the generative AI era. You know what I mean? Where you type in a thing and then the AI goes, you got it. And there's various different ways that you can use generative AI. You know, ChatGPT, anything you use in ChatGPT is generative AI. You know what I mean? And but there are different types of AI and all that stuff. But for me, I'm just like, I don't want Gen AI in my shit. You know, I don't in my creative products. Now, does that mean generative AI is everywhere? I mean, that just flat out. It's everywhere. It's gonna become more prevalent. It's gonna be more part of our society, and we're never gonna fucking get away from it. But I would like control of what I want generative AI to be in. For example, pieces that are art pieces, writing, essentially anything with an artistic expression. I don't want generative AI in, because especially in my company, we have a strict no generative AI process. I want it to be as authentic as possible. I want people. I want humans. I want people to do that, because, and this is the argument that I've given and why I really don't like generative AI in my products. It's because if you, as an artist, build off of generative AI with typing in prompts and drawing all over the shit and blah, 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 and doing all that crap, I really feel like it stunts you creatively, and it limits and halts your growth as an artist. I genuinely believe that. Genuinely believe that.
If you are, so I've only ever really seen it in terms of like writing, for example. I'm a really big like role player.
Right.
I do role play in forums, Discord, all that shit, right?
Yeah.
So I've gotten really good at being able to suss out people who use like ChatGPT to write.
Oh my God, I didn't even think
emotes.
about that. Yeah.
So here's my thing. If you want to use it to like correct your grammar,
yeah,
that's fine. However, I would say you should learn through your errors.
Yes.
So when somebody goes, hey man, you don't put a comma there, you go, oh, I thought you put a comma there because my literature teacher in middle school was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that's not the case. You don't put a comma there.
But so that, I would consider that AI as well. But I mean, we've had that since the fucking 90s. Ever since word processors came out, they're like, you missed a comma, you spelled the word wrong, this is grammatically incorrect. Like, we've always had that, you know? So that's fine, right? But
correct. See, that's what I'm saying. It's okay. Yeah. I don't hold it against people who are like, I use it to check my grammar because I'm a writer, not a editor, right? So it's like, okay, fine. I'll fucking secede the point. My big thing are the people who use it to write their emotes.
Yes.
Which is crazy because you're basically killing off your
Not
own
roleplay.
creative, like your own creative energies by having the machine do it for you.
Yeah.
And it, by the way, it writes like dog shit.
Yeah.
For people who are like, oh, I'm going to be an amazing author with ChatGPT. No, dude. It purple proses the shit out of everything, and it's fucking pointless.
Mm-hmm.
It'll just reiterate the same word 4 different ways and not make any sense at all.
Yeah.
So don't use it. If you're going to use ChatGPT, the only way I suggest using ChatGPT is to literally give you prompts. That's it. If you're going to use it for anything, use it for prompts.
So here's the interesting thing about this, right? Because you know, as someone who is anti-generative AI, there are uses for it. And hear me out. Hear me out. There are, I think, genuine, like, real world uses. The problem, though, is the generative AI can be prone to error. And the last thing you want is an in-between fucking up. So, for example, I've recently worked with an artist to get some more graphic design work done. And ever since all this shit happens, I very much I tell people flat out, no generative AI. Don't use generative AI. I'm not talking about Midjourney, spit out an art piece, or you paint over AI. I'm saying don't use AI for like touch-ups or texturing, or I don't want it anywhere near the final piece. You know, I don't want it anywhere. You know what I mean? But one positive use I've seen for generative AI, which I know that's crazy to say, is which again is a little bumpy, but it kind of helps, is when you are working with people where English is not their second language, and they need something to kind of explain what is being said. Because and I'm not even talking about like oh, just throw it in a translator. I'm talking about because there are things in the English language. The English language is just so.
What do you mean, man?
It's so fucking
what
weird.
about it? Through? What about it?
It's so fucking weird. And like, if you ever seen like the fucking like TikTok videos where they're like, okay, how do you say this word? All right, removes a letter. How do you say this word? No, dipshit, it's this. Like, it doesn't sound anything like it doesn't rhyme at all. So there is definitely some nuance for that. If you are a native English speaker, can be a little confusing to understand. So that I understand, where you kind of have an in-between who is explaining to you essentially like what these nuances mean, and can also sort of translate the conversation. Like that to me, like okay, you know, I would like generative AI to help like the everyday process. You know what I mean? Like the technology to help the process. But for me personally, my hard line in the sands is creative works. I don't want generative AI in the creative work. I don't want it being written in the creative. I don't want to write up a, you know, I don't want to be like, hey, I need a dungeon in this book we're working on. I don't want generative AI to generate and write up a dungeon for me. I don't want that shit. I want someone's work to be there. Because again, like I said before, if you're using generative AI for that, it's very much the same as someone who goes over and kind of like knocks on the door and goes, hey man, like I can only do this part. Can you finish the rest of it? Can you just write it up? And they go, yeah, man, sure. And then you come over and be like, yeah, I made all of this. I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. You know, or, oh, this is kind of weird. Like this little conflicting there. I want you to make the shit. I want it to be a collaborative effort with us. I don't want to involve, you know, John AI over here. You know what I mean? I don't want that shit, you know? And unfortunately, well, I look at this as a boon. I look at this as a boon for me, you know? You know, AAA companies and a bunch of companies will continuously use generative AI as shortcuts in creative works. They will use it to generate art. They're going to use it to write things faster. They're taking the human element out of it because they want to produce the works faster and then sell it off to people. You know what I mean? They want to churn things. Fuck, if you're on Facebook or Instagram, you're going to just see a bunch of AI slop being sold on ads because you just need a week and then you've got a book printed out. Remember, we did a stupid. This was years ago. We were doing a funny little chat GPT. Like,
oh yeah, man.
Poop mechanics, you know, or like this, and it was a little alarming how like, oh, this like, like, yeah, okay, that kind of works a little bit if we tweak it around, but then it's just like that fucking sucks. That shit could be just you type in a thing and you've got something kind of resembling it. But the thing is, if you see enough generated AI like text, you know, you will recognize it as generative AI. And like you can tell when AI has generated something, or whether it be a tweet, a roleplay element, things like that. So even then, it's not that creative. It's the same trick pony. And yeah, it's getting a little better all the time as technology continues to advance. But like you can kind of begin to smell and see when it is. Like, for example, my writers, all my writers on the writer team have a particular writing style that I recognize when I work with them. And they're all different. They all have different things, and you really wouldn't notice it unless you are working directly with these writers. So I know, you know, where like, okay, this writer likes to be very superfluous and likes to, you know, add a bunch of unnecessary words that we don't need in the writing. This one likes to write things that are supposed to be more instructive and kind of like a storytelling fashion. And I have to be like, hey, you have to do this. This writer gets straight to the point. But when it comes to like more technical side of things, there's a bit lacking, like all of those things, you know, I can tell. And I love that because that means my writers have strengths and weaknesses and I know where I can put them in the project to really make the shit shine. Generative AI doesn't have any of that shit. Generative AI is just, it just does a thing and then that's all it fucking does. You know what I mean? And it absolutely, like, you can tell when generative AI, and a lot of times generative AI can just be flat out wrong. Like if you ask a question in a specific way that almost sounds like you're favoring a particular answer, generative AI will find a way to answer it in the way that you want them to answer it. Much like social media and our divisions that we have, going back to politics, where like if I, you know, am looking for a certain way to be perceived, I will find someone or some article that will it like lead into that part. You know what I mean? Correct. So at the end of the day, I recognize its failings. I recognize its weaknesses. I can see where it will help. It will definitely help some things, but I can definitely see where we are going creatively, and I don't like it. I know video game companies right now, movie companies as well, with all like the strikes that have been going on, with like especially like voice actors and actors and stuff like that. That these companies are like, why do we have to pay these guys when we can just have a machine do it for us? And
send out the robots.
Yeah, like I could just have a generative AI voice acting. And bro, I don't know if you've seen Sesame, the new AI voice models they have. No. I was listening to this in Joe's stream. Uncanny. So terrifying. It shook. Fucking shook. There was
interesting.
I went into Joe's stream. I saw what the title was, like I'm DMing for an AI. Mr. Joe Fudge, of course, fellow DM. And I was listening to him talk to this person. And for a moment, and that's all you need to make it unsettling. For a moment, I genuinely thought he was talking to someone over Discord.
Oh.
It was... Because like we've kind of moved away from like the AI robot talk speech, you know what I mean? Where you're like, beep, boop, beep, I'm a voice reader, beep, boop, beep. Like, you know, we know that. And then we've kind of got into this new AI voice language where it's got a little bit more of a flow to it, but you can still tell it's AI just because it's a robot talking to you. You know, it's speaking fluently, it's reading everything good. It's not making human error in speech. This AI was pausing, was correcting, or kind of like backtracking a little bit to like, you know, like kind of what I'm doing right now, trying to express or explain something. You were hearing little like breath, like little inhales or
like somebody like exhaling and shit like that.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep. And like it was emotion, and like you could tell her like, I got it. I'm sorry. You could tell when it was trying to be serious, which was also very unnerving because at one point in time, Joe was like, so what do you think about like AI taking all these jobs? I mean, it's like, well, you know, and then it was going into like a kind of like a let's bring it down a minute. Like let's talk about this seriously.
Jesus.
You know, and was like, you know, we're in an uncertain time, and we don't know where AI is going to be in the future, you know, and that's kind of why it was important that Sesame built this AI ethically by making sure it wasn't doing this XYZ, you know. So like it's essentially a robot that can mimic human speech and give PR answers about where it came from.
That's crazy.
It's gonna keep going. This train ain't stopping, and that's what we have to get into. This train's that, unfortunately, and I hate that this is where we're at. This train ain't stopping. You know, you hate generative AI in your creative works. I feel the same way. This train ain't, but it's not going away. It's never gonna go away. There's no way in hell it's ever gonna go away. And eventually it'll be so normalized in craft and things like that. Which is why I've taken the pledge of no generative AI in our books. No generative AI art, no generative AI writing. None of that shit is gonna be in the books. It's always gonna be human made. Books are gonna take a little longer. It's gonna be a little more expensive for me to make, but I genuinely think that is going to be the marketing strategy for IO Publishing in the future. When it goes, oh yeah? Well, what do you got that Wizards of the Coast doesn't have? Or what do you got that whoever other company, you know, is... And I was about to say, I don't know if Wizards of the Coast is using AI, but at the same time, like, Hasbro CEO literally was just like, oh yeah, we're already using AI tools all the time. You're like, motherfucker. So anyways, like, what do you have that these other big companies don't have? And I'll be like, we don't use AI on our work. We are going to be one of the last few standing bastions of human-made content. And it's weird saying that because I know we haven't arrived at that point right now, right? But I feel like I'm talking like a couple years. That is going to be the sale. That is going to be the selling point. Because as AI, because here's the fucked up thing. As generative AI continues to improve over time, more and more people are going to realize, I think I can get away with it now.
I think now I can lie.
Yes, I know there are probably people out there that look at generative AI and go, if I do something, I will get caught because it's not perfect yet, and I'm out. I'm out of the industry. I know there are people out there, just because that's human nature, who are biding their time for AI to get just good enough where no one will be able to tell what is AI and what is human made. Terrible.
Yeah, I mean, that's... Yeah, there are lots of people like that.
I mean...
I can't even deny that there aren't people like that, because I've seen... God, I think it was like Bill Burr that made the joke where it was like, you never want to be the first guy to do it. You always want to wait until like third, fourth generation to do it and get away basically scot-free.
And I think there will also be a time as well that people are going to care less about it. I would like...
People already care less.
Yeah, I think people already care less because it is sort of this acceptance. You know what I mean? Like, it's not... But at the same time, just because you care less doesn't mean you don't care. right? Like, I mean, that I think it's, you know, we all become numb after a while, as sad as that sounds. When it comes to things, you're like, man, that fucking sucks. And then eventually it just gets a little easier day by day because you can't just be sitting there steaming all the time. You know, eventually you're just like, I gotta let go of some shit so I can focus on me. You know what I mean? So that makes sense. But at the same time, like, we're not, you know, we will never, and I've had to change this so many times. Originally I was like, no AI. And then it's like, okay, no. What I mean is no generative AI, because AI isn't fucking everything. Like, you can't say no AI. Your computer is an AI, for God's sake. So no generative AI. And I think that's a good stance to be on. You know, our works do not create generative AI. Now I have to say, which I fucking hate that I have to say, we will never knowingly use generative AI because unfortunately there are bad actors out there, and my biggest fear is eventually generative AI is going to slip through the cracks. We're going to release a book. We're going to publish a book, and generative AI is going to be there somewhere, and we're just not going to see it. We're not going to catch it. And that, I hate that. I hate that for us. But we're God, if we're doing everything we can, you know, we've already set some more checks in place to make sure that generative AI isn't being used. But man,
Please, I beg you, no AI.
Well, I'm hoping that, like, if I express hard, like, I don't want generative AI. If you use generative AI in your process, I don't want it. You know? And I've talked to people who are like, well, I use generative AI in the beginning shit. You know what I mean? Like, I use generative AI in this. So if you want it hand-drawn, like, I guess we could do that, but it's gonna take more time and open your budget. Like, I'm being unreasonable. I'm like, yeah, man, that's fine. Like, fuck, dude. You know what I mean?
It's kind of funny that they're like, ugh, you want us to do it by hand? All right, weirdo.
Yeah.
Here's our normal prices then. And it's like, all right, dude. I'm sorry, am I making you do your fucking job?
It's just, well, I mean, and some artists are gonna just use AI, and that's, you know, whatever. Like, that's the choice you've made. Fine. I don't want to work with you though, and I'm not saying that as punishment, but I'm just like, I know the people I want to work with. And again, here's the thing. I think generative AI is going to stunt the growth of the creative community if people embrace it. You know, I've been working with a core group of artists in IO Publishing for years now. Years. And I look at their work from 2022, 2023, and I look at their work now, it is leagues and miles improved. Not saying that the original work was bad. It was still good, you know, but if I'm looking at 2022 you and 2025 you, and you haven't been using AI art, leagues better. So I'm impressed with how these artists find the ways to improve upon their craft.
I think my favorite thing is that it's great because you're like leagues and miles better, and I immediately was like, oh yeah. And then you were like, not to say you're bad. I immediately was like, oh well, now that just turned that into an insult in my head.
Definitely mean that. Well,
I didn't hear it as an insult until you corrected yourself.
Right. Well, it's just because if I don't say that, someone's gonna be like, oh, do they suck before? And it's like, no, they were still very good, you know. But now that
those are our dog shit.
But now I'm looking at their current work, and I'm just like, Jesus fucking, this is so good. This is so good, and it's fast. You know, it's faster and better, and that's because I keep, commissioning them. You know, week after week after week after week after week, being like, please make this, and it is. You just see this improvement over time because of our big projects like that. So it's great. It's wonderful, and that's also another reason why I'm saying I'm saying no to generative AI. Thumbs down.
Dun dun dun.
Thumbs down. Absolutely.
Lightning strike.
It's funny.
All the other wacky sound effects.
It's funny because like Bird, Bird Renar, who does a lot of
Bird,
who does the
Bird who's drawn
reactions.
all of my fucking characters.
Yes,
Painstakingly, lovingly by hand.
It's funny because like we still have, because of Deadbeats, we still have like the beginning of phase 3's Discord reaction images, which are good. But then like every time I need him to like update them, or we get introduce a new character at Deadbeats or whatever, and then we start putting those up there, I'm like, I can tell when these were made. Like I can tell when these were fucking
Hellebore
made.
looking a little scrungly.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit, like 20, like episode 1 Hellebore versus season 4 Hellebore. You can't fucking compare, dude. The fucking glow up on this shit, man. So it's great. It's just great to see it. It just is exciting because I also get to see the artists grow in their craft, and that's really fucking cool. That's really fucking sick. And I love that shit. Very very happy about that. And I recruited a lot of these artists from the before times.
I look around.
I look around as well. Which people might not know what I talk about when I say the before times, when a certain DM got canceled.
I mean, society's healing. If you don't know, society's healing.
Thumbs up. That's also where I'm at. Where I go, yep, we're doing good. It's the pain is starting to go away. We're moving on, and it feels real good about that. So it was good that I was able to also give them that kind of work, like to be like, hey, come work for me. And now, and I like to think that we're doing things way cooler than that guy. I mean, we released a fucking book, for God's sakes, so, and we're working on another book. They're making some good progress on that. So it's just leagues and miles ahead. Like, yeah, popularity will only get you so far. I like to think the work will speak for itself, as it were. And it definitely has. So,
yes, sir.
That is my rant on AI. I don't fucking want it. It's going to be a part of our world, whether we want it or not. I don't want it in the creative space. I don't think it should be in the creative space. But it is what it is. And people will argue what they've always argued. Like, yeah, but like, there was cave paintings before the Renaissance. You're just like, whatever, man. And you know what I mean.
What?
Well, it's
Christ.
Because it's a tool, it's looked at as a tool. So the comparison turns into, well, it's like traditional art versus digital art. Surely there would be a time where traditional artists went like, digital art's not real art. And I can see that. I could totally see that. But at least with digital art, it's a fucking craft. You know what I mean? Like, it's still a craft you have to get good at. With generative AI, it's like, well, you just find a better prompt. Like, call me.
I typed your words better.
Like, it's real old. Like, we're arriving. We're almost there, man. At the old times, we're like, man, fucking AI ruined everything. I remember when we drew all the shit we wanted to draw.
I remember before 9/11. I don't.
I also don't. I remember before 9/11. It all mixes together. You know what I mean? It definitely all blends and mixes together. I think my life, like if I look back at events of my life, even before 9/11, it would still feel like post 9/11. Dude, like, yeah, like in kindergarten, after 9/11. Like, he just like, no, that's not what happened. That's not exactly what fucking happened. That's not what fucking happened at all. Well, I've only been to an airport one time pre 9/11, and I couldn't tell you what that experience was like. Could not tell you what that. I think it was like a cross country flight. Maybe I had a fork and knife. I don't know.
Maybe they let me on with a full 16-ounce water bottle.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, I could tell you what the experience was before 9/11, after. I do remember flying after 9/11 and being like, oh, this is gonna be weird. I remember thinking that. Like, I flew the next time I flew post 9/11 was 2004. And I was like, oh boy, this is gonna be rough. Because I knew security had ramped up, you know what I mean? And
They're definitely
nowadays,
not gonna let me take my soap.
nowadays it's just part of the norm. Nowadays, you can register for pre-flight, which makes no fucking sense to me. It makes no sense to me, pre-flight. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like the TSA pre-registration. So
it's been a while since I flew.
So essentially what it is like, you know, if you're part of the normie crowd, you know, you got to take your shoes off. You got to go ahead and put all this stuff. You got to go into the giant, you know, microwave that's like, that's to look and see what's going on. And then you step out and
stand in the massive cancer machine.
Yeah. And if you're suspicious / not white, they'll you'd be like, correct. You've been picked for
random
screening. Yeah, you'll be picked for a random screening and all that shit. But with pre-flight, you keep your shoes on. You go into a completely different, faster line. You don't go through the spherical microwave. You go through a regular ass metal detector, and they're just like, "Have a nice day," and that's it. And you're just like,
"Wow."
So what you gotta do for pre-flight is you have to like pay like an $80 fee. It's registered for X amount of years. I don't know how many it was. And they then do like a check on you. I don't know what the check is. Like, if I've been associated with, like, what is this check? Like, I don't know. I have no idea. I guess a background check. Yeah, they do a check.
I was gonna say, they do a background check on you?
Maybe, I guess. I don't know what the check is, you know, and maybe there is like a rhyme or reason, but to me, it just kind of feels like, hey, did anyone flag you in the past 5 years? No.
No.
All right. Welcome to pre-flight. I'm like,
get out of here.
I'm like, wouldn't this be like the people that I'm looking for if I wanted to do a terrorism? You know, like it just feels like there feels like a lot of oversight is what I'm saying. You know, like it feels
what?
Yeah. I just also what really fucking sucks is now there's pre-flight and now there's like a faster version of pre-flight, like an even faster line. But
how
like,
the hell is there a faster version?
I don't know, but I feel like a company
they just let you on the plane, like they just look at you and go, "You don't look like you have a bomb," and they just like let you on.
Yeah, it's kind of like a fast pass. Exactly, it's like a fast pass into.
That's crazy.
I like at a company. I'm like, I don't get any of this shit. I don't understand what it is. I'll trust it all works. Like you guys know the process, I guess, but. Something feels a little weird about all of this, you know. I don't. Well, it doesn't matter anyways because it's not terrorism that's gonna get the planes down. It's just gonna be the planes themselves because Jesus fucking Christ, if I hear another plane crash, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. Like what is happening?
Sitting back and I go, oh damn, that's incredibly unfortunate that helicopter crashed. And then I sit back down, and before I even sit down, I was like, another one fell out of the sky?
Yeah,
when I go to sit back down, and I was like, another one? What is Boeing doing?
That's so
Are they just
wild.
They're just fucking just sending up whatever they want?
No, it's the woke planes, man. The planes are too woke.
No, man. Boeing spent all their money on their fucking corporate assassin to kill all their whistleblowers and didn't have enough money left over to build their fucking planes.
Wasn't that fucking weird?
Like, weird? There was nothing weird about it. It was intentional as fuck.
Like
all of the whistleblowers died.
Every time a whistleblower was gonna show up to court, they just fucking randomly died. You're like, what is happening?
Crazy. The whistleblower was found at the bottom of the elevator shaft, having shot himself in the back of the head somehow.
Look,
crazy.
Look, call me stupid, and it's very stupid. If it happens one time, I'm willing to lean on coincidence. If it happens 2 times, I get real suspicious real fucking quick. I can't. Okay, all right. Police, cops, are we finding anything for this?
I look around and I go, wow, you didn't find anything? How young was this person? Crazy.
Yeah, heart attack.
Wow.
In
at
their
42?
30s? Yeah. What the fuck?
Huh?
After another whistleblower died of suspicious reasons.
Damn, man.
What?
Agent 47 popping the fuck off. I want to know what that guy's getting paid right now.
Jesus Christ. Every fucking time, you're just like, what is happening? And I'm like, well, surely. And there's a point where you're like, well, surely, like, especially after the second time, like,
surely somebody's going to start looking into this, right?
We're going to find a reason, right? And then you look around, you're like, no?
Why are the police twiddling their thumbs? Why is the FBI and CIA twiddling their thumbs? Hey, guys. Hey, guys, you have a job to do. Hey, your fucking job, baby. Hey.
It's looking fucking weird right now over here. How many whistleblowers died? I knew of 2 of them. There were like more than 2 whistleblowers that died of suspicious circumstances? It's so fucking weird. God, we've become the conspiracy podcast.
All I had to do was type how many, and then it was the top 2 responses were how many whistleblowers died from Boeing and how many planes fell out of the sky. Dude, that should immediately tell you. When people go, huh?
Holy
Let's see. 2 dead. A 3rd Boeing whistleblower lives in terror.
I mean, bro, if I'm like whistleblower number 3, I'm gonna be like, no thanks. Nah, man. Call me a coward. Call me a fucking coward. 2 of them died before me. You're like, you're the 3rd one. I'm like, nope. You don't know me. I don't fucking know.
Bro, they died 2 months apart. Two Boeing whistleblowers, John Barnett and Joshua Dean, have died within a short period, raising concerns about their safety and the company's practices. John Barnett died by suicide in March 2024 after raising concerns about Boeing's safety and production standards. Joshua Dean died May 24th after a short illness.
Oh my God.
Also a Boeing whistleblower. I like how they changed it up. They couldn't have them both commit suicide, obviously. So they could have them both commit suicide.
The first whistleblower feeling super guilty to, checks notes, out their massively sized corporation,
mega corporation,
for building shitty planes that are endangering the lives of so many people.
Live with it.
Oh, the guilt, the fucking guilt.
The guilt.
Dude,
What do you mean I'm getting pressured by the company to rescind my statements? What do you mean?
Oh.
Why don't they want me to say it? What's the matter?
Oh, man, it's so guilty. I mean, look, if I ever became a whistleblower, you would not be talking to me until the deed was done. I'm just telling you that right now. Yeah, I would go, I would hopefully have a contact somewhere that hopefully wasn't in like Big Boeing's pocket. And just be like, you're the only one that knows where I'm gonna go. And even then, I'm probably gonna go someplace different.
Correct.
Like, there is no way. I'm like, I'll be like, when do I need to show up for court? And then I'll be like, all right, you will not be talking to me until I am in that courthouse.
Indeed. Correct.
With armed guards, yeah.
Correct.
And then if I die on the steps of that court from a random gunshot, no, please no.
And it was Boeing.
Yeah, it was Boeing.
Please know that it was Boeing who is responsible for my death.
I would also, it's like state right off the bat, like I have no intent to harm myself.
The amount of videos I've seen of like whistleblowers and shit coming out and being like, hey, I am mentally okay.
Yep.
I have had no thoughts of ever killing myself.
Yep.
If I die suddenly, it was not by my own hands, no matter what the fuck they say.
And the Boeing assassin goes, all right, you're just going to make my job a little bit harder now.
All right, now I'm just going to put the arsenic in your food now instead of strangling you to death.
Jesus.
You'll die a slower death now, asshole. Good job.
It's terrible. It's fucking awful. It sucks because my aunt used to be an engineer for Boeing when they were good, you know? And it was. It was like she was like fucking working the planes and putting her heart into it, and then she quit. And then the planes now the planes suck. I don't know. I don't mean to claim that my aunt single-handedly kept Boeing up in their standards, but maybe, you know,
kept them humble. I like that.
Yeah, maybe kept them humble. It's just shit's insane. Shit's fucking insane. But that's it. It's just like, God, I'm a little worried to fly now. I'm just like, man, I'm really rolling the dice, aren't I?
We have so here's like a little tradition we have at our house.
Right.
We do a Halloween party usually every year. We invite like all of like the D&D crew over.
Yeah.
So like all of our friends who we play D&D with show up.
Right.
Other VTubers and stuff like Uzu shows up at our place. And we just like we hang out, right? We all have a lovely time. Most of them fly in. This year, everybody's like, hey, I kinda don't want to fly in this year, for being super honest.
I don't want to roll the fucking dice on this shit.
Yeah,
I hope you don't mind.
I love you guys, but I really don't want to take 2 flights to get to you and have a, I don't know, 50% chance of dying.
God.
So we go, yeah, that's fair. That's fine. We might not have a Halloween party this year.
I gotta go to one of these Halloween parties one day.
Oh yeah, brother. I'm gonna let you know. It's mostly hanging out, playing a lot of Magic together. Like a lot of Magic together.
Oh no.
Watching movies.
Oh no.
We sometimes go out to places, but we're all introverts, so we usually all just hang out.
Oh no.
And then Halloween rolls up, and Momo usually pops off and does some like crazy house decorating.
Nice.
We do trick or treating. We like hand out candy and all of our Halloweens and stuff.
Cute.
Like this last year was like a Call of Cthulhu theme, so like everybody was dressed up as like detectives, and like cultists and stuff like that. And we had this like Call of Cthulhu-esque sort of like whodunit where somebody in the house got murdered, quote unquote, and we had to figure out what happened. And we found out that it was like a cult would basically started in the party. Wow. And it was like, so there was the part, like the cult leader was like going around offering people power and stuff like that. I was the cult leader.
Of course.
And it was great. You had to persuade them to willingly join the cult. And I was very persuasive.
Wow. That sounds great.
I killed literally everybody. It was great.
That sounds good. Yeah, one of these days we'll definitely go to a Halloween party.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Probably not happening this year though, if I'm being honest.
Oh, because of
all the airplanes.
Jeez, I get the balls to invite myself to the Halloween party one time. You're like, ooh, sorry about that. It's not happening.
Blame Boeing, brother. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you, man. Everybody's like, I don't want to come because Boeing's dropping. Boeing's out here doing fucking like population control by dropping their planes out of the sky.
Jesus fucking God. Wait, I definitely wanted to one of these days fly people in for an IRL game that we could record.
Dude, I'm still super down for that. That sounds super fun.
That's something that we've talked about before. And maybe one day we will. You know, if IO keeps growing. IO's been doing pretty good growth. Honestly, I've been pretty excited. The last game, Session Zero, did really good.
Oh, dude. The Rime of the Frostmaiden stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
A message for Twitch chat. That's an old message. This is not a rebroadcast. Sorry to anyone who's confused by me saying that. I literally, because I've been doing rebroadcasts for the EU folk whenever we do D&D. Okay. And it's been working pretty well, and people really seem to like it and appreciate it, especially over at the EU side. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna have a timer that goes off to say, hey, this is a rebroadcast. And when I was making that timer, I'm like, motherfucker, I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna fucking forget to turn that shit off. I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna forget. And here I am realizing how bad and how much I fucking forgot. And now I have the Twitch side accusing me of actually being the rebroadcaster, pretending not to be the rebroadcaster.
That's crazy.
It sucks, man. And we're looping. We're looping
my
around.
My man cannot win, bro. My God, somebody help this man out.
Man, are we gonna fly? Are we gonna fly this year, or am I gonna say no to flying?
Dude, Uzu's like, I want to go to Japan this year because I got invited to go to Japan, but she's like, I'm scared to fly because it's a long ass flight
It is
to
a
go
long
to
ass-
Japan.
Yeah.
And again, Boeing just loves testing gravity with their fucking airplanes.
Right.
So a lot of people are like, I really don't want to go right now.
Yep. I have always wanted to do, it's expensive as hell. I've always wanted to, one thing I really want to do is I want to go to Europe and I want to board one of those like fancy trains that like go all across Europe and do like the luxury cruiser lines with like the bed
Oh, hell
room
yeah.
and things like that. Oh, something I don't know what it is about movement that I'm just like, hell yeah, I really want to do that. I really fucking want to go. I
That'd be
want
fun.
that. I think it'd be fun. There's a lot of
I
things
wish,
I want to
I
do.
wish America was built for trains.
I mean, yeah. I mean, there it was once upon a time. You know, you had the Rockefeller, railroad money and shit like that.
Mhm.
So, but it's just,
I hate big auto. I hate big automotive.
dude. It's just, look. All I'm saying is, who built which rich guy built all the railroads? Cornelius Vanderbilt. No single rich. this AI is getting fucking snappy with me. I literally typed in Google which rich guy built all the railroads, and AI correct because no single air quote rich guy built all the railroads. I'm like, don't get sassy
You
with
fucking
me.
sassy bitch.
Google AI. Okay, don't fucking do that shit. Yeah, like the Carnegies and stuff like that. All I'm saying is, it's just one super fucking rich dude who's like, I want to fly rockets now. It's just history repeating itself. That's all I'm saying. History just fucking repeating itself. We never look back. We never fucking look back. Do we? Fucking do we?
Nah. Too much work. Too much work. I need infinite profits now.
God, I have lost so much money on the market. It's starting to do a little bit of a bounce back, but I pretty much have established. I'm like, okay, I'll get my money back in in time, and I'll get it back. I'll get my market money. That's all it is. It's all
I'll
made up.
eventually get it back, said with hopefulness in his voice. Please.
Please, where's my money?
Please?
No, it will. Because history continuously repeats itself. Yes, we can't fucking learn. We go, maybe this time it'll be different if I do the same exact fucking thing that we tried 100 years ago, and then it doesn't change, and then you literally are just like, oh man, what the fuck? What happened?
Why isn't it working?
Why isn't it working the way I want it to work?
I hate it here.
So I think the next thing we should talk about is let's pull a topic from our Dumpster Delvers Discord. Finally, for those that don't know, we do have a Patreon. Hold on, I'm gonna make a note right here.
We do?
1.07. We do have a Patreon.
That's crazy.
Where you can support myself and Crowned and the Dumpster Delver, production team that we've hired, which is paid exclusively through the Patreon. It's me.
I was about to say, I was like, wait a minute.
Hey man, what's up? It's me. If you join the Patreon, you get access to our Discord. We've got a bunch of channels where you can post things like post a requested guest or post a topic. And I really would like to get a guest one of these days. I just don't know how to sell. Hey, do you want to be in a podcast where me and Crown shoot the shit? I don't know. I don't know how to sell that to someone.
Exactly like that.
I that would have to be the sale, right? And then who would we bring? We'd probably bring Joe. We'd probably bring Junie. Yeah. We'd probably.
I mean, that sounds great.
Naomi, Momo, like anyone from the shit. So yeah, we'll have it. If Melissa ever finishes her fucking subathon, I'd love to tap her.
Her fucking 3-year-long subathon? Jesus.
Yeah, I'd love to tap her.
The
and
endurance
talk about
of a goddamn champion, by the way.
Would love to talk with her about that and be like, hey, the fuck's wrong with you? Now listen, if you want to talk to someone who's got it in bad, fucking Melissa, you don't see me streaming 16 hours a day. And yeah, tomato. I'd love to tap tomato. Absolutely, and just shoot the shit. It's just I feel like when you have a guest, there's usually like something you could talk about, but like we're all buds here, so I really don't know what we would talk about. Like there wouldn't be a particular topic, right? It would just have to be like, hey, what's up?
Just be shooting the shit.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey man, what's up?
Although I guess, so when I first started streaming, before I was even a partner or anything like that, I was still an affiliate.
Right.
I came onto a podcast. I was invited into a podcast. God, it's been years now. It was like one of the first like co-op things I did. Yeah, let me check my Twitter real quick because I forgive me, I forgot the name. It's been so long.
Oh no, that's fun.
But they brought me on and they were like, hey, we want to ask you a bunch of questions. We know you use like Foundry. We want to ask about Foundry. We want to ask about the maps and how you make them, and we want to get your opinions on like Dungeons and Dragons and all of this stuff. It's called Crypt of Knowledge, was the podcast I was on, and this was back in 2022.
Oh, very cool. How did it end up going?
It was good. It was like an hour and a half. I want to say it was wife and his husband.
Oh,
sorry, wife and her husband.
I'm
trying to remend I want to say they were married. But yeah, it was just like basically shooting the shit more or less, and we'd ramble and talk, and then they'd interject the question. We'd ramble and talk about that, and they'd interject with a question. It was basically that until the end, and then we did some like fast, snappy question, like say the first thing that comes to your mind when I ask you this. Best healing spell in Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh,
best stuff like that.
See,
I've always totally do that.
I've always wanted to do like a talk show on Twitch, like one of those like late night talk shows, and my guests would be streamers that I would ask questions about, and like find out more about like well, how did you get into this? Like what I don't know if we actually have anything like, which is weird because I feel like we would, right? That we don't really have anything where it's just like you sit someone down and you're like, okay, so like humble beginnings, like what did you do before this? Like what was your life like before this? Now, how did you get into it? Did you and when did you find when was the point where you're like, hey, I'm finding a little bit of success with this. Hey, I think I might be able to make a living out of this. Just I don't know, just shooting the shit and talking about that, just really learning about people, I think would be a lot of fun.
I lean back in my chair. Hey, Brad.
Hey, what's up?
What'd you do before you started streaming?
What did I do before I started streaming? Well, I've answered that question several times. I was a tech. I worked at a college call center. I worked at a grocery store. I was getting a degree for mobile programming, and then I started YouTube, and then I just kept doing it. I did not find any success in YouTube for a while. I was very fortunate that I was working with another creator as a video editor who's paying me very well and was able to move me out to California. So that was a good buffer. Then when I came back to Florida, because California just was, for a new YouTuber, was just very difficult, very hard, and I didn't like what I was seeing in a lot of people there. Felt very fake, felt very disingenuous. And I lived in cheaper, back in the cheaper parts of it. I stopped video editing. I started video editing for the creator. I started video editing. I started being a video editor for hire while I streamed. Streaming wasn't picking up. Took me a while to get partner. Well, it took me a year to get partner. But it was a rough journey getting there. And then I just didn't really know what I wanted to do on Twitch. I was just playing games, which is that's shit. Because I do well, because I genuinely believe you have to if you're gonna have a chance of being successful on Twitch or on YouTube or anything like that, right? If you have a chance at all, you have to offer something that no one else offers. You have to be able to offer some kind of unique spin or twist that makes you more appealing. So when people look at you, they go, "Oh, they're the guy that does this." You have to be essentially become known for something. And playing a game on Twitch is not really anything to be known for, you know, because everyone fucking does it. So it is. You just so it really wasn't until I started becoming a D&D streamer that I really began to find my way and really began to see growth. And just went because and finding I was good at it, that I was good at it, and people seemed to like how I ran things. And yeah, so that's that. I mean, really, I would like to say I didn't really find my stride or success until IO began, which would have been 2020 at that point. So yeah, so I mean, almost 5 years doing it now. I'm feeling pretty good about what's been built, and I'm excited for the future. And yeah, that's my story, my 2 cents.
Nice.
How did I lean back? I fall off the air conditioning unit. I guess scurry back up. How did you? When did you start? It was like Momo, right? Momo got you started.
So before I started streaming,
yeah,
I was working at a gas station in Oregon, a Chevron gas station, because there in that state, it's a law that somebody has to pump your gas for you. Mm-hmm. You are not allowed to pump gas unless you have basically a license to do so.
Right.
And I was running I was working like the graveyard, well, not the graveyard, like the closing shift. So like I'd get off work at like 11, and I was running a D&D game, and I had met Momo. I had met Momo earlier in my life. I had met her around like 2018 or so.
Can you actually explain how you and Momo met? Is that like a private?
Sure,
is that a private?
No, I've talked about it. Before. So again, like I said earlier in the stream, I'm a role player. Even today, I role play all the time. I have like people that I role play with. I role play in video games. I'm a big writing fan. And I joined a game called Conan Exiles because my roommate at the time was playing it, and I saw him playing on a server, and I was like, "Oh shit, that looks really cool!" Like he played like this, like, I forget what it was called. There's like a Chinese inspired mythos in Conan, like the Conan universe, and he was playing a character from there, and I was like, holy shit, that looks fucking awesome. Like he was showing me his build and everything like that, and I was like, well, I've been looking for a new game to roleplay in, so I'll go join there. I joined, and I make an Aesir, which is a Viking character. They are what like Odin is. Odin's like an Aesir. So I'm playing my character. His name is Brynjar. Smile.
Yes.
He's a Viking character. He's a smith. And I eventually get put in charge of the clan that I was leading. The two clan leaders that were in it basically got killed on the server. They got killed via PvP. And eventually it fell, like all the leadership fell onto my character's shoulders. And my character was a former leader in his past life. He got exiled. He became a leader again. And I start uniting the North. And in doing so, I come across a new clan. And the clan was being led by a man who called himself the King of the North. And he had Momo in his clan. And I didn't know this at the time. I didn't know who Momo was. I didn't know she was a VTuber or anything like that. And we kind of hit it off in roleplay.
Yeah.
And I beat the shit out of the dude. We basically like ransacked their village. Like we hit it off in the sense that we raid her village, basically.
Wow. And she was like, that was awesome.
Our first meeting was not very good. Yeah. And eventually, we unite the North. We repel a bunch of Southern invaders. All this shit. It's great. We're like I'm role playing this for like 6 months, basically. And eventually, I get betrayed. My right hand kills me. Like the server weeps because everybody fucking loved Brynjar.
Yeah.
He had basically like united basically 3/4 of the server to like rally together. And when he died, pandemonium, bedlam.
Really?
There's like a red wedding style scenario that happens for the dude who betrayed me. While all of this is happening, I go make my second character, Sebastian de Castilla, and he's a free blade.
Every time you say a name of a character you role played, I'm like, yep, that's in my game. Yep, correct. In my game. I think I saw a Final Fantasy 14 screenshot you posted like recently, and it was like Marius, and I'm like, yep. There he is.
Correct. I've been getting better though about making new characters.
Okay.
But when I was first starting, I was very much like just repeating the character in every setting that I could do it in. But I make my new character. I make Sebastian, and I was like, I hit it off with these people in this other clan, so I'm gonna go role play there. I go join Momo's clan, and Momo and I, again, we hit it off this time. We're very friendly. We're amicable. We're hanging out outside of Conan. We're hanging out in other games and basically just doing a bunch of stuff. I'm a shithead. I was a shithead.
Awesome.
I got it in my mind at some point where like I had met basically all my friends who I have today through video games.
Right.
Momo, Cyric, all of them. Like I at one point got it in my head, I was like, these people don't like me. And I fucking vanished off the face of the earth for like a year. Like a year I was gone. And then 2020 comes around. I was like, okay. I kind of like got out of my funk. I was like, all right, this time I'm going to go through and I'm going to hang out with all the people that I hung out with before. And I started making amends, and I was repairing bridges, and Momo was one of the ones that I repaired. And we started like a Conan server together. We started Forgotten Fables. And then I eventually start DMing again, and I start like doing Dungeons and Dragons, and it's about like 6 months into this game. It's 2021 now, and I go, hey Momo, I know you're super busy. I know you're a streamer. I just learned that you're a very popular streamer, but I know that you're streaming, but I'd love to hang out with you more. I kind of miss us hanging out like we used to. Do you want to come play Dungeons and Dragons with me? And she was like, yes. I fucking love D&D. And I was like, sick. So we get her into the group, and we play a couple of sessions, and it's great. We're all playing at like, I've basically warped everybody's sleep schedule because I get off at like 11 at night, and everybody's like waking up at like midnight basically to play Dungeons and Dragons till like 6 a.m. It was crazy. You want to talk about, it was so wild. You notice how we have like schedule conflicts where it's like, oh, I can't make that at like 4 p.m. I can't make that at like 7 p.m. Everybody could make it at fucking midnight and play until 6 a.m.
Jesus.
Never once was there a game that we missed. The only time we started missing games is when I start moving our games to reasonable hours.
Right.
It's so wild. So we start playing, and like 3 or 4 sessions in, she goes, hey, I think we should stream this. And I go, nobody's going to want to watch this. Nobody's going to want to watch me run dungeons. I'm not fucking Matt Mercer. I'm not anything, right? Like, I don't, like, I'm a nobody. They're going to listen to me basically jerk off the Souls series, just written into Dungeons and Dragons, and they're going to very obviously not like it. And she was like, no. How about this? I'll stream the games from my channel, and I'll pay you the ad revenue that I get and any gifted subs or anything that I get for that day that I stream. And I was like, I don't know. Like this, like real big hesitation. And the first we do it, we stream the first game, and it's a fucking hit. People love it.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. Like
there it is.
I remember being like genuinely surprised how like invested people were in it. And then we started doing it more, and it got to the point where I was making more every Sunday than I was a month working at my job. And I went, Ooh. Ooh. I come home from work exhausted.
Yeah.
My legs hurt because I haven't yet realized that I need to walk with a cane.
Oh no.
And I go, okay, and I start working part-time. And my boss doesn't like that I'm starting to work part-time because he's starting to recognize I don't really need this job anymore.
He's like, hey, I noticed you cut your hours there. Maybe you.
Yep. Hey, man, we're a little short-staffed. And I go, that's crazy, man. You should probably hire more people instead of having people work double hours, basically.
Click.
And that continues for about another couple months, and then I eventually come to my boss, and I'm like, it's great because I'm coming to my boss with the thing like, hey man, I'm basically gonna need you to knock me down to like 2 days a week.
Yeah.
And I roll up, and he's like, hey man, you're fired. And I went, oh, awesome.
You want to make sure to break up with you before you broke up with him. That's what I'm hearing.
It's great because the reason I was telling him I want to do like only 2 days a week was because that's when I was going to start streaming.
Right.
Like Momo had basically convinced me to start my own stream, and I was like, okay, sure, I believe you. Like I see people in the chats, they like it, so I'll eventually start my own thing. And I come to him, and I was like, hey man, I'm going to start doing Twitch, so I'm going to need to work like 1 to 2 days a week now, basically, like whatever days you need me to cover.
Right.
And he was like, awesome, you're fired. And I was like, oh. And he's like, no hard feelings. He's like, but I can't, basically, like, I either need you full-time or not at all. And I was like, okay,
so
that's
weird.
fine.
That's so fucking weird.
And I was like, you got it, brother. And that dude was one of the first guys who like subscribed to my Twitch when I got affiliate. So like he has like the first tag. I have never seen him in my chat since, but he has like the first tag.
That's so funny. That's so fucking funny. Hey.
And then here we are.
No hard feelings. You're fired. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, it's I was very like flat. Cool. I kind of knew it was coming because I was training a guy for the same hours I was working.
That's fucked. Okay.
I was training a guy.
So fucked.
And I was like, that's a little weird. We don't need 3 people closing. Usually it's a attendant and a cashier. We don't really need 2 attendants right now. That seems odd, but okay. I mean, I'll go do dishes and stuff because that'll be easier.
If he asked, hey, so how is that training? Is that guy ready to go? And then you're like, oh yeah, man.
He fires me.
He's perfect.
Oh my God,
and then goes, okay, cool. You're fired.
I'd have crashed out, I think. Jesus. I can't even imagine him because he was such a nice dude. I couldn't imagine him doing that to me. But some part of my brain's like, it'd be hilarious if he did, though. There's some part who'd be like, that'd be fucking amazing.
Also, that's fucking wild that you asked for less hours and then he just said you're fired.
Yeah.
Like,
well, so
was it more of like you either work full time or not at all, and then you quit?
No, I got fired. He basically it was twofold, right? So
okay.
One, it was I basically was like, hey, I'm more or less only going to be around when you need me to be around, but I can't be around all the time. So it's going to be like 1 to 2 days a week.
Right.
And I was like, a lot of my effort's now going to be put into this, and I can't work weekends.
Right.
I cannot work Sundays. Sundays is my stream day.
Right.
And he was like, okay, well, I either need you full time or like not at all, basically. Like it'd be pointless to have you here on those off days because I can just get one of our part-timers to do it. Admittedly as well,
here it is. Here's
the
other shoe.
This job was given to me.
I may have pissed in the soda fountain.
No. This job was given to me because basically through nepotism. The dungeon master for my group was the manager at the time.
Right. And
I basically had the best schedule because I got D&D off more or less every weekend. Like the world revolved around the D&D. If you were not in the D&D group at this Chevron, you got shit on super hard, bro. Wow. It was basically like an elite group.
Isn't that always
like the
case?
Illuminati? Yeah, it was basically like a super clique. Like if you were not a part of the D&D group, you got shit hours. You got told what to do. You got to watch me come in to work like 15 minutes late, basically punch in and then shoot the shit with the manager for like an hour before I ever worked.
So good.
It was easily some of like when people were like, "Isn't that exhausting? Aren't you tired?" I was like, "I work the easiest job I have ever worked in my life."
Yeah.
Like I do literally nothing.
Man, once again, you threw a fucking monkey wrench into the podcast and got us on a different tangent.
I give it a thumbs up. Hey, that's why you brought me on, baby.
Well, I reach into my pocket. I pull out the Uno reverse card. We were actually just talking about a viewer topic. Lore wanted to know the content creator experience plus your journey. So,
Whoa!
gotcha!
Bastard!
I kept
you
I
bastard!
kept you in line.
Damn it!
Son of a bitch. So, if you'd like to request a topic, make sure you join our Discord.
I actually totally forgot. What was the first topic?
That was the topic. I didn't even say what the fucking topic was.
Oh, nice. Very good. Oh, excellent. I just wiped the sweat off my brow. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, join the Discord. By joining our Discord, you get access to our Discord only. Right. Join the Patreon, and you get access to our Patreon exclusive Discord. And yeah, you get to ask topics, and we get to talk about them. Yay!
Nice.
So, I think we do one more thing before we wrap up tonight. And it's time for...
We wrap up?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, it's been 2 hours, dude.
No fucking shot. It's been 2 hours already.
It's been 2 hours, dude.
Oh my God. How?
I don't understand. We enter a fucking time vortex, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
Insane. That's been 2 hours. That doesn't feel like it's been 2 hours.
It's been close. It's gonna be 2 hours after this. Is what I'm saying. I'm just saying we were in a fucking time portal, and then we've got the post show, the into the inside the dumpster. I call it, which I like that title. So how about a little role play horror story for you? Maybe two. I'm gonna tell you right now, to those listening, there's a lot of role play stories that involve some pretty dicey topics, and I'm sure you can figure out what when it comes to D&D and RPG horror stories, especially when you've got members of the opposite sex of the DM. It's crazy what never fucking changes. So this week there was some dicey ones, but I don't think we're gonna go into the super heavy dicey ones. So you guys are gonna be good to go there. I will start with a really short one. It's literally called "My Character Got Ultra Super Killed," and this actually kind of will open up a conversation, I feel like. This is from Bry Person on D&D Horror Stories. The story is, we were in a dungeon, and I found a room with 2 treasure chests. One of them gave a reward, and the other killed whoever opened it. It was a 50-50 chance which chest did what. My character opened a chest and suddenly puffed away. We were under the impression that the chest would just kill my character, but actually, she was erased from existence with no chance of reviving.
Holy shit!
This happened once to an NPC before, but it was a god that erased the NPC from existence. I didn't expect a random chest in a dungeon to do the same. How do you feel about that? Yeah, I think that's stupid. I think that's the dumbest fucking stupid shit ever. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Depending on what adventure module you play, that could just happen to your character. If you, as a character, play, I don't know, the original Tomb of Annihilation and Tomb of Horrors, the original version, a Serac is a cunt. He has immediately basically the namesake, the Orb of Annihilation in a gaping maw at the end of a hallway that is in the entrance of the dungeon. It's not even like hidden. It's a straight up, you walk to the path, you could walk up to the mouth, and if you crawl inside, you don't even know that you die.
Oh,
because the tomb of the orb of annihilation literally just
swallows
erases
you up. Yeah, that's what.
So you crawl in, and then your body just goes limp, and your friends are like, "What happened?" And they pull you out, and your head's gone.
One of these days, I have to run the Tomb of Annihilation. Not even as a hardcore game.
It's so clunky, bro.
I know it is.
So clunky.
I know it is. It would probably be a one-off. And
Nice.
then I would ask the party afterwards, do you want to continue this for session 2? It is a bull. Yeah, because isn't it literally Tomb of the Annihilation is quite literally like Gary Gygax being like,
Yes.
oh yeah, my games are too easy? Well, fuck
hold
you.
on.
Yeah, sorry.
The reason Gygax made it is because he was sick and tired of
People saying how
players,
easy it was, yeah.
people coming up to him and being like, "Oh, I have Mjolnir. I've killed all the gods in the setting. Your game's not hard enough.
Yeah.
I need a challenge, creator." And he went, "Oh, you want a challenge? Very well. How about a rune in the dungeon that when you step through it, I strip you of every single thing you're wearing and send it into the abyss. All your magic items, gone. Your armor, gone. You stepped on a rune, it jettisoned you into the ceiling at Mach 10, and you failed a reflex save, and you fucking exploded. Oh, and you got all the way to the end, you found the fake ending that Acererak wanted you to find, and you leave with nothing. Oh, you found the real ending? Guess what? Demi-Lich time. Acererak's here. I explode your head with Disintegrate.
Oh my god.
That's Tomb of Horrors, Tomb of Annihilation.
It's just Jesus fuck. I know. It's who the fuck would want to play this? I kind of want to see what it's about.
It's crazy because you have to spend like the first 4 hours of the game
Just
finding the fucking
place.
dungeon.
I know about the infamous entryway.
Oh, you found a fake entrance.
Yeah.
Good job. You wasted your time and your effort, and you're exhausted now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. That's also the thing. It's like you found the wrong fake entrance. Like it's just it's bullshit like that.
So fucking funny.
Oh my fucking god. So yeah, you're right. It could be that. I somehow doubt it was though, because Jesus Christ. All right.
How do you feel about Insta super exploding without any chance of being brought back?
If it fits the narrative, I think so. I think it has to be satisfying in a way. I think the players have to be, I think being sad for it, like being saddened and kind of like heartbroken by that, I think that's important personally. I don't think the players should feel like they were robbed. I think that's important.
Interesting.
I think the player should feel sad that it happened, maybe even like kind of go through the stages of grief, as it were. But definitely shouldn't be like, fuck that. Like, if that's the response, you did it wrong. If they're like, fuck that, no shot. Really? Like, if that's the response, you fucked.
Okay.
Yeah, you fucked up.
Okay.
Yeah. If a player wants to be like, what the fuck? Like, and starts like, kind of like trying to argue with you a bit, like, why did that happen? You know, and you give the answer and they're still like kind of like arguing about it with you. You know what I mean? Like, maybe you fucked up a little bit, you know,
maybe you went a little wrong.
Yeah. Something might have went wrong. Okay. This story, just from the title, I really wanted to read because I think this will lead to a good conversation. Yeah, no, let's do it. Let's do it. I think this will be a good wrap up for us. Am I the asshole for building a control mage?
Ooh. Okay.
This is a long post.
Am I an asshole for building a control mage?
Yes.
Huh.
This sounds like a player.
This is a player.
This sounds like
maybe the DM's gonna be upset.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this sounds like a player. You built a character, and the DM fucking lost it. This is what kind of sounds like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay,
Where it's just like, when you fucking got this build off of Reddit, you piece of shit. Essentially you. The DM did what you would do.
Okay.
So that's what I think. Now the question is are they the asshole though? And that'll be the fun part to figure out at the end of this. If they are indeed actually the asshole, as it were.
Very well.
All right, let us go. Hello, everyone. Recently, a campaign ended, and I have mixed feelings about it. Try to be better, but at the same time, I don't feel like I'm entirely at fault, which is why I'm here asking if I'm the a-hole. Starting out, the system we were playing was Pathfinder 1E.
Ooh,
Off to a great start.
very nice.
Specifically, the Spheres of Power version. I don't know what that means. Which lets
no fucking clue.
Yeah, which lets players kit out their characters with talents so martial types can do more than full attack / charge on rounds, and casters have new spells to work, but makes them specialize over something like wizards and clerics, who have a book of spells to pull from. Summarized, level 5 character in Spheres usually has a lot of the same features as a level 10 to 12 character would have via feats in the regular Pathfinder, and it'd go from there. Okay, so essentially it's a version of Pathfinder where you have essentially multiple features up to a level 10 character, but as a level 5. So, okay, that makes sense.
I'd say it sounds like a Gestalt game.
Yeah, it sounds very Gestaltian. When the campaign started, the DM asked for us to not build strong characters. Off to a good start.
Interesting.
And focus on having fun, since it'd be more exploration focused than combat. Have you ever, as a DM, said, please don't make a strong character?
No.
No, that same. Why would I ever?
And so here's my thing. I think I've told people more times
Yeah.
that it's okay to have shit builds because I'm going to beef up your shit build, basically.
Yeah.
Like if you play a strong build, I may not give you much because you're already strong, but if you're playing a shit build, I'm going to make sure that you can at least play the game.
Yeah, essentially, I think it's just build the character you want to build. Like,
exactly.
That's the key takeaway. So it's very strange for a DM to already be like, yeah, can you not build strong characters?
Please don't break my combat encounters. I'm begging you.
Yeah, the whole party consisted of 3 melee DPS and 2 casting debuff supports, me being one of them. No one was playing tank or healer. 2 of us could do healing out of combat, and 1 of us was good at restoring it across the party. Sorry, and need to zoom this in because my old eyes.
You get some glasses.
I got glasses on. 2 of us could do healing out of combat, and 1 of us was good at restoring it across the party, but no one could out-heal the damage we'd normally take during fights. DM ran combat like Pathfinder Society, where there'd usually be 3 to 4 consecutive encounters with no long rests in between. Combat always started with all parties within 5 feet of each other. Bosses got to go first and had multiple turns in the initiative. Which, okay. A dragon, fucking attacking me. A dragon with 1d4 breath recharge would get 2 rounds counted instead of 1. Likewise, if they were debuffed for X rounds, 1 turn counted as a round for them. Interesting. Mobs outnumbered us roughly 2 to 1 with 80 to 100 HP each. Yikes. And enemies were usually in tactical positions against wherever we started while having AoE attacks ready. Woof. So this essentially was like combat encounters built to fucking kill you, it sounded like.
Oh, God.
Jesus. People who did well on the initiative managed to get out of the splash zone usually. Yeah, because that's essentially it. If everyone starts 5 feet from each other always...
Yeah, dude, what's to stop me from just being like, the fireball, as I cast it literally in front of you?
Yeah, nothing stops that. So yeah, they all have AoEs. Some of them literally go first round. Yeah, that's bullshit to me. People who did well on initiative managed to get out of the splash zones usually, but otherwise, everyone took unavoidable damage out of the gate. By the end of most dungeons, we were alive with less than a quarter HP and no heals left. But I would argue, still alive.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really complain if your character is still alive. That's my thing. If you leave it and it's not like a Pyrrhic victory, like you won, everybody's okay, but you have like a quarter hit points and no resources left, good job. You won.
I think that's
if you
I think
won
that's balanced,
and 3 people died, then you have rights to complain.
Yeah. I think if I if a party left a dungeon after clearing it with only under a quarter health and all their resources spent, I would have considered that a balanced dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
I dare say.
Correct.
I dare say it. Sounds like they probably had a fucking sweat. And
I'd even go so far as if you had people fall unconscious and you had to spend resources to bring them back up in a fight.
Yeah. No deaths.
No deaths, but people went down. That's a good fucking dungeon.
Yep. I think that's good. I think that's real good. The whole campaign, we got to loot enemies twice and receive about 20,000 gold by level 8 as well. My character was an elf druid who focused more on nature magic, using spells that would affect areas or to debuff or immobilize enemies, while the animal companion / summons would try soaking some of the damage, and DPS members did their part. Other than that, my damage was a 5d6 fireball to chip at the mobs and an air geyser that would yeet enemies straight up or fall damage on a failed save, 8d6. That sounds fine to me. It sounds like you're surviving what is already a campaign that is against you from the get-go. So that makes total sense to me personally, as the reader. Unfortunately, here we go. The campaign devolved into an arms race from there. For example, I put out a spell like Pit that mobs would have to get out of or go around. And now most of the enemies had the ability to teleport, fly, climb, or burrow out of it. The most contentious spell was an animated tree that I could create anywhere in 200 feet, give the ability to move, and attack / debuff, which gave the party a tank. The best thing it did was the ability to taunt an enemy so hostile actions could only target it for a few rounds, while it could also opt to do no damage at all on hits and cause the enemy to be fatigued, exhausted, until they spend a full round clearing the condition. Okay.
Damn, that sounds like a cooler version of 2E's Protector Tree.
Yeah.
That sounds fucking dope.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds... you didn't have a tank. That makes total sense to me. Skipping to the last session, we were fighting 2 dragons that also had sphere features. Dragon number 1 is a blaster caster, and dragon number 2 is a martial type, who would lock you into place and perpetually knock you prone if you tried moving around it or missed an attack against it. Woof. Halfway through the combat, the DM locked me inside a hurt box that I couldn't leave, and others couldn't get through on a corner of the map with the blaster dragons. Trying to survive, I managed to barely stay out of melee reach, grounded the dragon that had been flying until that point, held it in place, and put it in a situation where it had to pass concentration checks to try throwing more fireballs at me. In response, it somehow kept rolling ones on the breath recharge time behind the DM screen, and was hitting me twice with breath attacks every round after that. A little suspicious? We feel a little suspicious, okay?
Okay. Not really siding with the DM here so far.
Yeah. Seeing that happen, dragon number 2 flew into the hurt box, ignoring the tree that had taunted it until that point, and the rest of the party to double tap my already unconscious character so they actually died. That is some bullshit.
Damn, that is a... If you ever wanted to feel hard targeted, dog, that's it. That's it right there.
That is some petty fucking bullshit. Then, the round after that, both the dragons died since they were constantly provoking attacks of opportunity from the rest of the party to get to me up to that point. One of the players in the party told me that I made the fight less fun and interesting for them because of what I was doing. Huh? A player saying that.
Really?
He also told me that I made things harder for the DM and him.
That's a friend of a DM. That's a friend of the DM.
He also told me that I made things harder for the DM and him since they had to balance around my character. The player is the DM's boyfriend, so there could be some bias.
Some?
But I still value their opinion enough to write a thread here and ask, so, am I the asshole?
Nah.
No.
Not the asshole.
Absolutely not. Depending if the way the story is being told is accurate with as little bias as possible. Right? Because obviously with these stories, it could be very easy to like spit it unintentionally in a way to make you seem like you're the one that's being wronged. If this story is factually how it happened, no, you are not the asshole. I feel right off the bat, it is the DM he wants the game to be played a specific way, thus asking people not to make strong characters, and kept sort of like, you know, with the marker board notes. Every time this player did something, they would go and then change shit, you know. And so yeah, that's what that feels like. That's what that sounds like. But because DMing can be a bit stressful, especially when you first start. And when you get an encounter curb stomped, it's very easy to be like, oh damn, I need to make this harder. And then it's very easy to overcorrect from there. So yeah. But also there is that like mode of like, oh, my shit isn't hard enough. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing as a DM. I need to kill someone.
I'm not killing you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not winning.
Why not?
I'm not winning at Pathfinder is essentially what that sounds like. But no, TLDR, no, you're not the asshole. Sounds like there's some personal bias there. And
crazy that a player came and said, you're making it harder for us, like they're fucking first off, like they're DMing.
Yeah. That's
and they're the ones suffering.
Yeah, that feels like the wrong fight. Absolutely. All right. I think we're gonna call that a cast. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to join us if you are a member of the Patreon in the $10 tier and above. We also record a little post show where we usually read a bonus story. We talk about how the cast went, and we put that exclusively on our Patreon. So make sure you guys go ahead and join our Patreon so you can get some exclusive content, especially if you've enjoyed what you saw here. What I'm checking on right now is a number that has been slowly creeping up now. Where I said if we got 20 people on the Patreon, it was $10 or higher, we would do a special webcam version.
That's what I knew. I forgot. I knew I was forgetting something.
Into the dumpster, where I would eat a habanero, a hot orange habanero, live on webcam. Because we can't do it on Twitch because it goes against their TOA. Or their TOS, and YouTube I don't think fucking cares, but we'll put it on Patreon as sort of a nice little treat if we get to there. I'm checking right now to see where we are at with this, because there have been a few people joining, so let me see where we are at if the dumpster or junkyard tier. No one's joined Grandma's garage sale yet. If you are feeling extra generous and you join the Grandma's Garage Sale tier, we will give you a special shout out in the podcast itself. So, as a way of saying thank you very much. Oh boy, this seems like a lot. Not gonna lie. Okay. 18 out of 20. We're only 2 away. We're only 2 away. And then I gotta get this bear a webcam as well, so I can see him in his panicked face when the first thing.
That's what I forgot.
It was the first thing he sees is us. Well, I want you to get a webcam so we can do shorts on the cast, like exclusive shorts that would just be us on webcam. And I think that would be I think that works pretty well. So yeah, so that would be good content, I believe. Very, very, very good content. So if you'd like to join our Patreon. You can join at the $5 tier to get access to MP3s in our Discord. The $10 tier and above right now gets you access to the post show. We don't have anything for the $20 tier yet, just FYI. Just sort of leave that as a tier of like, you know, if you would like to give us some extra support, go for it. We'll have something for that tier soon. I'm still hammering out some ideas. So, and then we've got our big boy $50 tier if you definitely want to be generous. And for that, you get to join the an AMA, which we'll be happy to answer, and we'll give you a specialized shout out at the cast. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm assuming we'll be back next week. Keep an eye on our schedules, and really do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. We'll see y'all the next time. Bye bye.